So I thought about making a video on battle mode. Due to this decision, I decided to record some multiplayer footage for you guys. And the game itself was actually really intense if this video managed to be long enough for you guys to see the whole game. But it was a neck and neck match. My playing was fairly mediocre. I haven't played Doom multiplayer and Doom in general for a while, so I'm pretty rusty. But I think I did decent enough for not playing in a while. So yeah. Enjoy watching the video while I talk about battle mode. Alright, battle mode. Well, it was nice that we got a lot more information on it. We know that there are going to be a decent amount of demons to play, and it's really cool that they all have their own personalities and play style. These maps are going to be arena styled maps, and I don't know if they'll be based on the campaign maps or they'll be their own maps, like own exclusive multiplayer maps, but they do look cool for sure from a visual perspective. Just like what a lot of people are saying, the game does have an evolve type of vibe going on. Instead of having various human soldiers chasing the monsters, the demons are chasing the Doomslayer, so you could see it's kind of like reversed. The one thing I'm concerned is this whole idea of how demons have to team up together to take down the Slayer, because during the presentation the developers mentioned that the Doomslayer is tough enough to take down demons on his own, and that's the primary strategy that the Doomslayer wants to do. On paper, that sounds like a nightmare for people who aren't going to play with friends and communicate. Let's be honest here, when you play public matches by yourself, you are going to bump into players that don't know how to play that well. I'm sure we all have matches where everyone on your everyone on your team seems, incompetent, and you're literally just trying to carry the team against the opponent team, which seems to be, a team full of better players. Those matches can sometimes be fun when you can actually carry your own teammates to victory, but then there are moments where you can't. So I'm wondering, man, is battle mode going to be something I have to play with friends to enjoy myself? Because what happens if I bump into someone who knows how to use the Doomslayer very well, and I happen to be a good demon player, but if my teammates, isn't around my skill level, then the demon side is pretty much screwed. Also, what happens when you matchmake with two other players that wants to be the Doomslayer, but obviously, we can't have 3 Doomslayers in a battle mode match? I do want to commend id Software for allowing the post-release content to be free, because that was one thing I was wondering if, battle mode was going to have some sort of developer support after the game's launch, and I'm glad to hear that they'll be updating stuff for the game. Like I said, it's all going to be free, which is awesome. It must be mentioned. But here's another question I'm wondering for this brand new mode for the Doom series. Is this going to appeal to Doom 2016 fans? I don't know if it will maintain an audience for years. They'll keep people playing because Doom 2016 multiplayer is still playable. This match that you're watching, I literally just played this match at a random time while recording this footage, and people are still playing the game on Xbox. I'll assume that is the same for PlayStation, and I'm sure that is definitely for the PC, because arena shooters tend to be more popular on the PC platform. So I think battle mode is going to attract a different audience, and I don't know if there is an audience that enjoy these kinds of mode. I mean, I know people still play Left 4 Dead, like the Left 4 Dead games to this day, but I don't see any reason why, they would want to transfer over to Doom Eternal compared to Left 4 Dead. The problem with battle mode is it feels experimental. It's only up to 3 players, and it has to be played, it has to have 3 players to be played optimally, and it's not something most big and well-known shooters use for their multiplayer experience, especially shooters that still have a thriving multiplayer fan base that plays the games throughout the years, like Call of Duty, Battlefield, those kinds of games. I don't mind that id Software is trying to experiment, but replacing the game's traditional multiplayer component and being the only multiplayer component where players can play is a turnoff for me, and for anyone who enjoys Doom 2016 multiplayer. Also, Doom 2016 multiplayer didn't need a full-on 12-player match to make it a decent experience. I'll say you just need at least 6 to make it decent, but obviously more players will make it more enjoyable. Also, we don't know if the maps will be good. Map design is always important for FPS games. It doesn't matter if it's single player or multiplayer, every FPS game benefits from great level design. That's one of the things I personally feel like Doom 2016 multiplayer did well, and it's kind of like one of the stronger strengths of it. As much I look forward to trying out battle mode, it seems incompetent against upcoming shooters of 2019 or even games that are similar to this style. It's also not good that it's trying to be experimental, because I don't think this is a proper response to all the criticism of Doom 2016's multiplayer. I always felt like Doom Eternal multiplayer should have been more similar towards 2016, but with reasonable changes, tweaks, and some new features to make it feel more polished and redefined. Battle mode's future is very up in the air. I don't know if this is going to be a dead on arrival multiplayer experience, or it might end up having its own fans and an audience that'll play the game for years to come. But it seems like it's barely getting any attention towards gamers compared to the campaign. I know some of you guys say that Doom is more of a single player experience, and I get that, but the series itself is one of the first that introduced deathmatch to FPS games, and I think the new games should stay true to that. Also, shouldn't games have meaningful content? If you're going to add a multiplayer component or anything similar to it, it should be enjoyable and decent. It shouldn't just be like one single mode is worth playing and your time and the rest of the other modes are tacked on. I stated this many times, I don't think battle mode is bad. I'm willing to try it out since the core concept seems kind of fun, but there's just a part of me that just don't want to accept battle mode being the only multiplayer fix I can get from Doom Eternal. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. So for my impressions on battle mode and my initial thoughts, it's a cool feature for Doom, but I don't think it's going to be amazing or good enough to be a standalone multiplayer component for Doom Eternal.